One of the satisfying things about life is when a person that is trying to give you a hard time gets their instant karma. Here's a story time. So yesterday I was taking the train and I was going downtown. And what happened is this is a very populated stop that I entered the train on. It was dozens of other people that got on with myself. So when I walk onto the train mixed with dozens of other people, I get on and I walk past and I see the conductor, and the conductor sees me because I was one of the last to get on. So what happens is usually they allow all the passengers to go and find their seat and sit down and get settled before the conductor comes and asks for everyone's ticket. So what happens with me is I go in, one of the last to get on, and I go and I sit, and I'm looking around to find a place to sit. So I'm looking around and I'm in this cart and I'm thinking, I don't want to sit in this cart. I want to go sit in the cart over. So I turn around and I'm getting ready to walk out. As I'm like turning to walk down the aisle, here comes the conductor. She's standing in the doorway and she goes, "All tickets, please." So as I'm trying to, get past through, say excuse me to the conductor, because she's standing in the doorway, she goes, puts her hands up and blocks me and goes, let's just check your tickets first. So basically kind of like ushering me to go have a seat, like dismissing me basically. And let me just digress for a second. One thing you don't want to do is block the entryway or exitway of when a person is trying to leave a room or go from one room to the next, and you don't want to hold up your hand and block somebody because that is not your place. And two, you have no idea what a person has been through in their life and how triggering that could be for someone. It was very triggering for me, and I had to settle myself in that moment. And another thing, if a person is making you uncomfortable in that moment, you absolutely can address it, say something, stand up for yourself, defend yourself. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be abrasive. Do it in a calm, gentle, classy manner, but still say what needs to be said, because people need to be called out when they're overstepping their boundaries. So anyway, what happens is she comes over to me after she kind of like shoos me away basically, and I sit down in one of the seats. She comes over to me and she goes, "Ticket, please." So I pull out my wallet. I was getting ready to grab a ticket and I pulled out cash. You of course can use cash on the train. So I pull out the largest bill I had, which was a $20 bill. That's all I had. And she goes, "Oh, don't you have anything smaller?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." And like, you see, that's what she did. While she was trying to be thirsty to try to get me first, if she would have went to other people, she probably would have got more cash. But because she was so adamant on having control in that moment and antagonizing me and chastising me and coming towards me to get my ticket first, that's why she ran into an issue. So when I tell her, I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't have any smaller bills and everything," and she goes, "Where are you getting off?" And I'm like, "I'm going all the way downtown, so it's gonna be more than, whatever, I don't know." So then what happens is she goes like, "Oh, okay, well, you're gonna have to get you a ticket." And then she kind of like walks over to, walks away. And then the girl that was like a couple of rows behind me, she was probably around my age, okay, and she was so sweet. She was a little, Caucasian girl, and she goes, and thank you so much to her. Like, she really was a savior that day. Love her for what she did. But basically what happened is the girl goes, she had like a 10 ride ticket, okay, a 10 ride. And she goes, "Hey," tells the conductor, like, "Hey, you can just punch two, one for me and one for her. You can just punch another one for her. Like, because I always have extra. It's okay. You can punch the second one for her." And I turn around and I have my headphones on, and I turn around and I'm like, and I'm just telling her, I'm like, thank you so much. Like, you didn't have to do all of that. Like, thank you so much for that. Thank you for helping me out. And she goes, "Girl, it's okay. It's all right. Like, I always have extra rides anyway, so it's fine. Go ahead. You can." And she told the conductor, like, "Yeah, just go ahead and punch two so you can punch one for her." And I'm like, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much, girl." Boom. And then that was the end of it. Old girl had paid for my ticket so that I could get downtown. And I think that was a very, very sweet thing for her to do, because she noticed everything that had happened, noticed the interaction that happened between me and the conductor, and she saved me. But there is a part that I had forgot to say. Forgive me. This is what happens when I tell stories. But anyway, one thing that I had said, remember how I said earlier how you sometimes have to stand up for yourself and defend yourself when, someone is overstepping their boundaries? Yeah. So I missed this one part. So when the conductor comes over to me and she goes, "Oh, well," she's like, "Can I check your ticket, please?" Before I even pulled out my cash, I goes, "Okay," since she want to block me in. And then she's like, she's all like, I didn't block you in. I had told you I need to check your ticket. And then that's when I pulled out the $20 cash. Me saying that one thing, like it was within like that's a few seconds of her walking over to me and her blocking me. Within those few seconds, I was thinking she just triggered me without knowing it, because I have definitely had moments where people have tried to block me from, like my abusers had tried to block me from exiting a room. So she had no idea how much she was triggering me in that moment. And then two, I didn't like how she was trying to pull control over me, because I've definitely had moments where older women have bullied me. So I definitely felt like this was an older woman trying to bully a young woman. Once again, knew that had happened. And three, she made me very uncomfortable with what she did, because I felt like that was a very, controlling power tactic, abusive power behavior. And because she made me uncomfortable, and because I'm a grown woman and I can say what I want to say, I told her, I go, yeah, since you want to block me in. And that's all I said, because she knew for a fact that she did block me in from the cart. Like, you're putting your body in between so that I cannot exit. And if it was a normal person, if I was may have been like an older woman or something like that, or a male or something like that, she would have stepped to the side and let the person through and would have checked them later. But because me, a young woman, and in the outfit, I'm gonna say this, I had on this black dress, and it was skin tight, and it was firm fitting. It was a short dress, a summer dress. I definitely looked attractive in that dress, an attractive woman. And a lot of times when an older woman see a younger woman that's attractive and small and petite, a lot of times that bitterness comes out. So now she wants to try to do whatever she can to use her job against me, to give me a hard time, all because of this envy. You know what I'm saying? And this, I gotta tell you, especially to my young women, you be knowing when older women be pulling those type of ranks with you, when they be having their envy, and you can tell that they're bitter, and you can tell that they're low-key trying to bully you. You are so on point with that, because everything that she did, she just did too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ride the train all the time. Every conductor is supposed to allow them to sit in their seat and get settled before you check their ticket. And if the person wants to move to whatever seat that they want to sit in, allow them to move. You have no control, you have no power and authority to basically block a person from wanting to go sit down. It's like, it's not that serious, baby. Like, let the woman go sit where she wants to sit, and go check the other people's tickets. Give her a moment. What was all that about? Like, what was the reason? So yeah, because she knew for a fact that she was blocking me in, and she needed to be checked, because why would you do that? So by me telling her, like, yeah, since you want to block me in, it's basically saying, like, you know what you were doing, I know what you were doing, and you're not going to get away with what you were doing. Okay? And let me tell you, coming from a person that is learning at this age how to stand up for myself, how to defend myself in my young adult years, it is never too late for you to learn how to stand up for yourself, because you would grow resentment towards yourself and towards the people that have tried you when you don't defend yourself when you need to. And like I said, I wasn't aggressive. I didn't give her attitude. It was just since you want to block me in, said it in a sense of humor way. But yes, it was very condescending. I'll be real. It was condescending, a little cynical. But at the same time, when people are being a bully and they know they're being a bully, they don't want to be called out. But it's in those moments that you have to call people out, so they can know that you are not one that they need to try, no matter how small and petite and how innocent you may look. Don't let people play with you. Don't let people try you. Don't let people bully you. Don't let people try to control you. Especially if you are a young adult. If you are an adult and you are of legal age and you would be tried as an adult in any other way, do not let these older adults try to bully you or mistreat you just because they feel like they can, because they're older. Yes, of course, respect your elders and don't get bucked with them and get disrespectful with them. You don't have to do all of that. Of course, you want to show your composure. You want to show that even though you are young, you are still emotionally mature, because a lot of times they do this on purpose because they want a young person to lash out. They want a young person to be a young person and be immature. But no, handle things in the mature way. But also, you do need to defend yourself and stand up for yourself when a person is trying you, and a person is overstepping their boundaries, and a person is trying to control you. Especially, you are an adult too. You're an adult too. And if they want to act that way, check them.